Hello, my name is Jalise. Welcome everybody to my SummerSlam 2020 review. Here's the thing, everybody. SummerSlam 2020. My God, their entire catchphrase was, "You'll never see it coming." For all of that shit, you'll never see it coming. There's so many different possibilities that I could never have saw coming, and so much more creative decisions. But SummerSlam 2020. Let's start off with the pre-show. MVP versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. Does anybody really care about this? Why does MVP need to fight Apollo Crews again? We couldn't have Shawn Benjamin or Bobby Lashley. Seriously. MVP, the guy's old, he can't move around a lot in the ring. He was never that good to begin with. And you know how WWE cared for this entire match? The new United States Championship should have been on, like, when they put always the title defense, they always put the big screen, the United States Women's WWE title on the line, and it has a picture of the title on the line. Yeah, they have the old photo United States Championship. They were so lazy they did not even put the new United States Championship logo on there. Apollo Crews wins. Don't care for the match. Pre-show, it lasted 7 minutes. A D match. This is something you watch on main event. Terrible. Bayley versus Asuka. Now, we all knew what was going to be the result since Bayley lost to Naomi on Friday. Bayley was not going to lose this match. What was going to happen? Sasha Banks was going to interfere, help Bayley get the win. It was very simple. The match was decent. There was nothing great about the match. I would give it a B minus. This match wasn't overly great as what they could do in the ring and all this stuff because they're saving Asuka stamina later for Sasha Banks, and I would give this match a B minus. Again, there's been the way this match ended is Asuka went for the hip attack. Sasha Banks was behind Bayley. It hit Sasha Banks, but Bayley used that as a distraction to roll up Asuka for the win. So, Asuka lost the title opportunity for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship. So Bayley's still the SmackDown Women's Champion. This match lasted, I believe, 12 minutes, and it was just a pretty okay match and all that stuff. But overall, I was happy Bayley won. I don't think Bayley should lose the title until Sasha Banks. So yeah, Bayley versus Asuka. Bayley wins under 12 minutes. And this was more like a storytelling for a stepping stone for Sasha Banks and Asuka's match. So this match to me, even though it premiered on this show at the beginning, I think they could have done this the second match. Now the next match was Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. My God, WWE's lazy creative. Now here's the thing. Angel Garza, Andrade, great wrestlers. Street Profits, great wrestlers. Great tag team. And in the beginning, it was a hard-hitting match. Like Andrade did his back elbow against Dawkins, and then Dawkins immediately got the spear. There was this one dive that Montez Ford just jumped outside the ring, and then afterwards, Andrade and Angel Garza caught him in mid-air on the outside and powerbombed him. The problem is, though, they did what any TV wrestling match did. Instead of getting a clear-cut victory and all that stuff, it was Zelina Vega on the apron. And by the way, Andrade and Angel Garza were dominating the entire match. But Zelina Vega got into the apron. She gets knocked out. Andrade goes to console her. And Angel Garza is left alone. There have been so many other creative ways you could have done it. I definitely saw that coming as soon as she was over there on the floor. And Andrade would look like a stupid idiot just checking up on her for like 15 minutes straight. It's just downright stupid. This was a stupid way to end it. I saw that one coming, WWE. So far, you're 2 for 2. You're 3 for 3. And all that stuff. I knew Bayley wasn't going to lose you're 3-0. Like, I knew Bayley wasn't going to lose the championship. I knew Sasha Banks was going to help her out. I definitely saw that coming. I saw that Andrade and Angel Garza actually losing this match, but not in that way. I'm pretty sure they'll get their title opportunity at Payback and they'll win at Payback. Again, another stupid thing. Why is Payback so close to SummerSlam? Stupid WWE rules. Next match. Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. This was actually a shocking match. At first it was very hard hitting and it was a no disqualification, all this stuff, but there was no point for the no disqualification. I mean, they used maybe one time a steel chair there was nothing that really qualified this for a no disqualification match. They didn't go through tables. They didn't really use steel chairs in any specific way. Mandy Rose wins. Sonya Deville's out of WWE. The only thing I could say is maybe Sonya Deville's gonna go to MMA. I mean, she's gonna go to UFC and all that stuff. She's gonna try mixed martial arts. That's the only way I could see it. And then Mandy, I thought if she lost, she was going to go to modeling. At the end, Otis comes out with her, celebrates her. They both do their they do Otis' little dance and all that shit and what he does. But I'm sorry, when you said the person who gets their head shaved, they said forget that. We're gonna up it to whoever leaves the company. I'm like, okay, whoever leaves the company. This was a match I was looking forward to, and then it just left me with that was it. I thought there would be something more than you'll not see it coming, because, again, when you know that one of them's going to leave, you're going to see it coming. JD from New York, I gotta listen to, he actually had a good thing to say, like something that you'll never see. Let's say Mandy beats, let's say Sonya Deville beat Mandy Rose and all that stuff, and then Otis would give up his Money in the Bank contract, give it to Sonya Deville in exchange for Mandy's contract that she could stay in the WWE, and maybe Mandy could take the title off of Bayley and all this stuff. But if not Bayley, then maybe Sasha Banks and Asuka and all this stuff. And then you have Sonya Deville on freaking Raw and Mandy Rose on SmackDown. So I thought that would have been interesting. That was a good idea JD from New York had, but you can't say that shit. You can't say, you can't give the creative ideas. I mean, what the hell are we going to do now? Okay, Sonya Deville is gone. WWE is left with one other woman. I was kind of hoping that one of them would not leave, but to me, Sonya Deville was obviously the better character, obviously the better wrestler. And Mandy Rose stays, so yeah, I guess I didn't see it coming, but that's not in a good sense. That's a bad sense. The match lasted 10 minutes. It was a C+. No point for no disqualification. There was absolutely no point. The beginning was hard-hitting, but after a while, it just kind of went kaput. Next matchup, Seth Rollins versus Dominik. Mysterio, not Dominik Dijakovic. This was a 22-minute match. I was impressed with Dominik. It starts off with Seth just being very dastardly heel. He's being cocky and all that stuff. He's taunting Dominik. He starts to get a little impressed, gives him a little clap for him. Dominik does a nice, what his father does, Hurricanrana, DDTs. Well, the major thing that Seth Rollins won. Well, I would like Dominik to win, but overall not really surprising. What was surprising is the fact that there was a couple nice spots before I get into it. There was a couple nice spots with Dominik and Seth Rollins going through a table with a reverse neck breaker and all that stuff. There were some nice spots like that, the candlestick spots obviously, and there was this one scene where Dominik's mother comes out and Ray's trying to console her, don't interfere and all this stuff. Dominik does this, and Seth looks at when Seth has Rey Mysterio handcuffed with Buddy Murphy, handcuffed Ray to the freaking ring and all that stuff. They're looking at, Seth looks at Dominik's mother. Dominik goes berserk. He does good. He does a frog splash and all this stuff. 619. But ultimately, he loses to Seth Rollins, and Seth makes Ray watch him. And the thing is, though, we kind of seen this over with a helpless Mysterio just watching his son get beat up, or a helpless Dominik just getting helpless Dominik watching his father's eyes come out of his sockets. So Seth Rollins wins. Okay, WWE, here's something creative you could do. Ray joins Seth, or Dominik joins Seth Rollins. But the knee on the ground, maybe Seth would say Dominik, give him a candlestick and make him whip his dad. Something. You'll never see it coming? No. Again. WWE creative. Sasha Banks versus Asuka. I saw this coming. As soon as I knew Bayley was not going to lose the SmackDown Women's Championship, we all knew what's going to happen. Asuka was going to win it. The match was pretty standard. Sasha was just pouncing on Asuka's knee for the beginning. There were some really cool spots with Asuka. Asuka's an MVP. She could do anything in the ring. And she did a lot of great movesets to Sasha Banks. The match was pretty dang good. And the Dominik Mysterio match, before I get more into Sasha Banks match, I would give it like a B. It was solid. The Mandy Rose one, a C+. Standard. But the Sasha Banks and Asuka one, I will give it a B. It was a solid, good match. Again, it ended very similar to the way Sasha Banks and Bayley, like Bayley's match with Asuka ended. You know how Bayley got the win because Asuka was going for the hip attack, hit Sasha Banks, and then she got the pinfall. Well, Bayley went. She got the pinfall. Bayley got the pinfall and won her SmackDown Women's Championship again. Retained it against Asuka, but then in this match, when Asuka went for the hip toss at the hip attack or hip toss at it's a hip attack against Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks basically moves out of the way, but Bayley moves out of the way too and doesn't take the hit for Sasha and all that. She moves out of the way. Asuka still takes her out, and ultimately and this is what they were saying, Sasha Banks still tapped out to Asuka with Asuka lock, but Asuka got the win because Bayley didn't take that. If they're trying to play up that if Bayley took the took the hit for Sasha Banks and Sasha Banks rolled up Asuka the same way, we would probably have Sasha Banks would probably retain, but Sasha Banks lost the title. So probably it kept saying that there was gonna be a tag team championship match at Payback, which is a week from SummerSlam apparently. And probably Sasha Banks and Bayley will probably lose the tag team titles right then and there, and the feud's gonna start with both Sasha Banks and Bayley. Again, was it needed? Again, was this predictable? Yes, every single thing about it was predictable. At least to me. Sasha Banks and Asuka, 11-minute match. Good match. Happy for Asuka winning the title. Granted, I don't like it back and forth flipping between the titles. Again, you could have Asuka. And again, my whole thing about Asuka, maybe Sonya Deville catches the Money in the Bank with her models contract. Boom. Something like that. Okay, next match was Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. This was actually a pretty good, interesting match, and overall, I loved it. I love how Drew was losing his temper to Randy. Randy was playing the mind games with Drew, just constantly making Drew McIntyre just go overboard with his attacks and all that stuff, and Randy just taking advantage of it. What surprised me about this, there was never a single Claymore or RKO in this pay-per-view. Drew McIntyre gets a pinfall with a nice backslide roll-up and all that. And the thing is, though, that was pretty shocking. And the fact is, Randy, they were both bleeding in a sense. And overall, I enjoyed this match. I loved the fact that Randy was playing mind games with Drew McIntyre. And I love how Drew McIntyre's his intensity, his clotheslines to bellies, to his future shock DDT. Drew really was a standout to me. Again, I mean, Randy's no pure wrestler and all that stuff, and he did his usual stick, the power slam, the DDTs, and all that stuff. But I really enjoyed Drew McIntyre in this match, and I'm happy he retained the championship. Or more likely, he's going to drop it at Payback again. Why this pay-per-view is happening, and Randy was going to win, or maybe Randy will not win, and then they'll fight a third time at a third pay-per-view to extend this feud. So Randy versus Drew McIntyre, pretty good match. B+. Next match, and this is the final match, The Fiend versus Braun Strowman. Now, the match was very intense at the beginning. I mean, The Fiend got an Unagi against Braun Strowman early on. 2 neck snaps, a toolbox. After that, Braun Strowman comes back, puts The Fiend through a barricade, chokeslam him on the announcement table, goes for a power slam 2 count. They fight backstage. This is a false count anywhere match. And then, The Fiend, but Braun Strowman drew the walls, and not drew the walls, but to the walls and all this stuff, hits the Sister Abigail, doesn't get the pinfall right there. They fight later back into the ring, and then later on, Braun Strowman goes for a second power slam, does not get the victory. And then he starts ripping up the ring. Poorly, I might add you. He starts ripping up the ring with a box cutter, and he exposes the wood of the mat, and The Fiend attacks him with 2 Sister Abigails and another move, and he gets the victory. Now, the thing that you never saw coming was Roman Reigns is, to me, heel now. He returned. He attacked The Fiend. He attacked Braun Strowman. He kept saying to Braun, I created you. You're not the monster and all that stuff. He speared both The Fiend and Braun Strowman, and he said to The Fiend, like, you're just a freak. You're just holding this title for me and all this stuff. And here's the thing. I'm happy that Roman Reigns is heel. If he's officially heel, I'm very happy about that. and he was holding the Universal Championship over the Fiend's head. But the thing is, though, is it the right time for now Roman Reigns to be the champion? No. If this was the case, I would have had this match end in a no DQ, and then I would have the Fiend, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns. Here's the thing. Again, this is WWE's fault for this. The match should... Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, should never have lost the championship at all. Not to Bill Goldberg at Saudi Arabia, because they were pushing Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns didn't want to go to WrestleMania because of the COVID stuff, and he's going... And, you know, he had leukemia and all, he still has leukemia and all that stuff, so he didn't want to endanger his immune system. Understandable. So he pulls out of WrestleMania. Again, WWE could have fixed it. Hey, Goldberg versus The Fiend, since he never got a rematch, and also The Fiend versus Goldberg versus John Cena, triple threat match at WrestleMania. You couldn't do that. No. You had Braun Strowman get the Universal Championship, a match that he did not deserve, a championship he did never deserve, because he lost the Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn. WWE doesn't build up superstars. They kill superstars. Braun Strowman is as stale as, wheat bread with no toast. Braun Strowman is just eh. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, love him. Always have. I thought he was the next Undertaker. I still think he is. I loved him ever since they debuted as a Wyatt family. WWE killed him, then he created the Fiend, and now they're killing the Fiend slowly but surely. They have been. Roman Reigns finally turning heel. I accept that. I will love it. Is this the right time? I don't know if it is. Roman Reigns, to establish his heel stuff, I would not have him immediately feuding with the Fiend. I would have him feuding with Braun Strowman, and then work on the Fiend. The Fiend, to me, I'm like, again, I don't know why they, I know what I would do for the Fiend. Build up the family. I would have Braun Strowman become a slave to the Fiend. I would have Alexa Bliss as part of the Wyatt, this new Fiend family. I would have the Fiend attack Nikki Cross, turn her evil, and I have Alexa and Nikki turned into psycho women, and they'll go back to the NXT version of Nikki Cross. I will also move a Killian Dane, Nikki Cross's husband, to the main roster, to SmackDown. And I'd rather have him start a feud with Bray Wyatt and with Braun Strowman and all this stuff. And I would have Killian Dane eventually join the Fiend's family. I would have the Fiend, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Braun Strowman, and Killian Dane, the new Fiend class. I would not have Roman Reigns as a heel right now. I say it's a little too early. And not too early, I say it's the wrong time and the wrong roster. I would have, if anything, I would not have Roman just attacking the Fiend. I would just have him attack the Fiend once and just beat the shit out of Braun Strowman, taking him out for taking his opportunity and all that stuff, like for stepping over him. If Roman Reigns turns heel, I would be appreciative of it. And I think this entire thing of SummerSlam is like, you'll never see it coming. You'll never see it coming because they pushed everything for Roman Reigns returning, and you'll never see it coming. I was surprised that Braun Strowman and the Fiend main evented the show. Then again, with this finale, I'm not really surprised now. Roman Reigns is here. Vince McMahon's favorite is back. But yeah, everyone, let me know what you think, everyone. What did you think of SummerSlam 2020? Think it was a good show? Think it was a bad show? Let me know what you think, everyone. My name's Elise. From everybody, bye.